4:30, our morning team and meteorologists will be breaking down the track of Hurricane Helene as it continues to move closer to Florida's Gulf Coast.
Mexico's coastline slammed Wednesday with heavy rain and strong winds from Helene. Just take a look at this video, folks. My goodness, it's a look at what's to come. Meteorologists predicted the storm would make landfall near Cancun, a tourist spot, with winds of 110 miles per hour and torrential rains. The storm is expected to move north, hit Cuba, and then slam into Florida.
And right now, Helene continues to make its way towards Florida. We have some video from Tallahassee as the state's capital is preparing for impact. Good morning to you. I'm Katie Jeffries.
That's all you can do is brace yourself. Make sure that you are prepared. Welcome in. You are watching Good Morning Jacksonville on this Thursday morning. I'm Keitha Nelson. We always appreciate you guys waking up with us. Look, off to a busy start as expected. You know, right now there are 67 counties in Florida that are under a state of emergency, and which shelters will be opening today. We're going to fill you in about that. Plus, we are looking at Mayor Deegan's press conference. It's going to happen at about 12:05 this afternoon. Of course, we'll bring all of that to you right here on Good Morning Jacksonville.
We also want to check in with meteorologist Lewis Turner. Now, Lou, we know the next official track will come out at 5 a.m., but what are you seeing from Helene from overnight?
Right. So if you went to bed at 11 o'clock and anticipating some sort of major changes, nothing has changed on a massive scale so far, at least not with track, intensity, and timing. Still mostly consistent from when we went to bed last night and waking up here this morning. Now, of course, we're still working with 2 a.m. numbers. About a half hour, National Hurricane Center will give us another number. I think a few takeaways here as we look. This is the infrared picture. This is satellite imagery, right? So we're not looking at radar here. We're looking at the satellite imagery, and what we use this for, try to pick up a well-defined center of circulation. Certainly getting a nice rotation around a center, kind of a ragged eye. We're looking for that clear definition of an eye. We're still at 85-mile-an-hour winds. So a hurricane, absolutely, but as we get a more well-defined eye, we see little peaks, but as we get a little clearing here in the center, a little more organized, we're going to get stronger faster. All right, so Hurricane Center is still forecasting this to be a major hurricane, even potentially a Category 4 hurricane by the time it finally does make landfall along the Big Bend of Florida. And another takeaway, so we've got that. Now the second thing is, look how massive this storm is. Senator, we've already moved fully into the Gulf of Mexico, but it essentially consumes the eastern half of the entire Gulf of Mexico. So we've got impacts as far out from the center. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of miles out and away from the center. So for us here on the First Coast in southeast Georgia, a wobble to the east, a wobble to the west by a few miles doesn't really make a big difference in our impacts, which will be gusty winds, especially through the afternoon as we really amp up those impacts through the afternoon, and the isolated tornado risk as well. We've already seen overnight some tornado warnings as far north as Macon, Georgia. All right, now that was very, very isolated, very, very quick. Some in southwest Florida as well as these bands come on. Now this is radar putting that on top of our cone right now, and kind of the track really still honing in, very, very consistent to 11 o'clock a bit. If you were noticing, and if you're very, very aggressively and very carefully watching these, a bit of a tick with the centerline track to the west along with that cone, but keep in mind, this just describes where the center, the eye wall, would come ashore and make landfall. So it could happen anywhere within this cone, and that's Hurricane Center's own forecasting. So as far east as Perry and as far west as, say, Mexico Beach or getting out towards Apalachicola. But big picture here is we're still waiting for some of our first bands to really make their way through the First Coast. Lake City already getting a little bit of rain this morning, and we do have crews spread out. We're going to take a look at more county by county impacts throughout our afternoon in just a few moments.
Thank you, Lou. And Hurricane Helene is expected to make landfall somewhere along the Gulf Coast, and Columbia County officials issued a county-wide state of emergency.
That's where we find our Tristan Hardy this morning. He joins us live in Lake City. Now, Tristan, any signs out there? I know it's early of folks preparing for what's to come.
Yeah, Keith, Lou was just talking about how Lake City is just now getting some rain, and it just started raining, I would say, 5 minutes ago. Now that that state of emergency is in place, local officials say they're able to get additional resources such as pumps and generators. Now they're expecting 3 to 7 inches of rain, flooding, and wind damage. Crews have already started pumping the retention ponds, but some areas are already soaked from the rain just a few weeks ago. Not only that, but people in Lake City tell me that some neighborhoods just now recovered from Debbie. Crews picked up debris just a few weeks ago. And officials say this storm is something that you should not take any chances with.
I'm worried about the entire square footage of the county. I want everybody to be taking this as if we're taking a direct hit. I want everybody to be prepared. I would rather everybody be prepared and say what was all the fuss about than the opposite way.
Yeah, happening today at 9 a.m., another county commissioners meeting. We'll keep you posted on what comes from that. Live in Columbia County, I'm Tristan Hardy, First Coast News, on your side.
Thanks for that, Tristan. Now, as Helene continues towards the state of Florida, many people in Jacksonville are preparing for potentially dangerous conditions.
Jacksonville City leaders hope you took precautions ahead of the storm to stay safe when we feel its effects later on today. Now, Rich Donnelly is on your side. He's in the San Marco area with the latest on the warnings from the city.
Well, we can say that some businesses here in San Marco have already begun sandbagging their front doors to protect against potential flooding. We know San Marco is a high probability flooding area. The biggest thing Mayor Deegan stressed is to stay home later today when we're in the effects of the storm if you don't absolutely have to be on the roads. She also said that the hotline 630-CITY is available around the clock if Jacksonville residents need to report an issue related to the storm so the 911 center is not overwhelmed. There are 8 emergency road access teams working in Jacksonville to clear roadways of debris so emergency vehicles are able to navigate the roadways. JEA also brought in extra crews to repair downed power lines if that becomes an issue later today. At the end of her storm preparation press conference yesterday, Mayor Deegan said that Jacksonville City services are prepared for the storm, but added that her thoughts are with people in the hurricane's path.
As much of a concern as we have here, I hope we'll all spare a thought or a prayer for the folks in the Big Bend as we go into the next day or so. Obviously, anytime you're looking at a major hurricane that could be a Category 4 or 5, it's going to devastate somebody in some community, and our prayers and thoughts go out to the folks in the Big Bend.
Again, Mayor Deegan stressed that people should only call 911 in an emergency. 904-630-CITY is available for everything else, and we expect to have another update from the mayor and city leaders today around noon. Reporting live in San Marco, Rich Donnelly, First Coast News, on your side.
Thanks for that, Rich. Now, with Helene making its way to the First Coast, we are monitoring school closures in our area. So in Florida, Duval, Baker, Nassau, Bradford, Columbia, and Clay County schools will all be closed today and Friday. St. John's and Flagler County schools will be closed at this point only today. Now, in southeast Georgia, Camden and Ware County schools will be closed today and Friday. Glenn County schools will be closed today.
So for an update on a school, city, or county closure across our area, we have a full list on our website, and we are making it really easy for you to get. Text the word closures to 904-633-2402. We will send that right back to your phone, and we will continue to update it as we get more closures or more information. Shelters across the First Coast are also open right now. Some will be opening later on today for anyone looking for a safe place to get out of the storm. Now, we are on your side county by county with a list for you. So Bradford County is set to open this morning at 9 a.m. at McClinney Elementary School and at the Dobson Family Medical Center. Columbia County shelters also open this morning at 7. You can see the 5 locations on your screen right now. Nassau County shelter opens at 8 this morning at Wildlight Elementary School for people with special needs or pets are welcome. Now, Duval County shelters are open, and there are 5 locations across the city. These are the options that are open to anyone, and these are shelters for people with pets or special medical needs. JTA is also offering bus shuttles to any of these shelters. For a full list of the shelters in our area or any with special accommodations that they can make for you or your family, text the word shelters to 904-633-2402. We'll send that list to your phone as well, and addresses are also available.
I know a lot of you are concerned about waste collection, so at this time we want to make it clear garbage collection appears to be running as normal in Duval, St. Johns, and Clay counties. Now, Nassau County has not provided an update on its garbage pickup schedule as yet. Any new updates that come in from garbage pickups to closures across our area, folks, we will keep you posted right here on First Coast News and, of course, on the First Coast News app. Now, make sure you download that app before the storm hits. Simply text the word app, APP, to that number on your screen. It's 904-633-2402, and we'll send you a link directly to your phone to download it.